What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here around One Sports TV. Let me know you hear me loud and clear as you come into the chat. Please let me know. We can get this episode started. We have a lot to discuss. This Ryan Garcia test result and what does this all mean? Where does this leave Devin Haney, Tank Davis, and more? We can talk about anything you guys would like to talk about in the live chat. So while you're coming in, if you have any questions, I'll answer all your questions and let's get this episode started. Well, the test and the suspension has been handed down. Ryan Garcia got a year, and I think that's fairly good. Sources are saying that the decision versus him and Devin Haney got overturned to a no contest. Now, in many ways, that's a win for Devin Haney, right? It becomes a no contest. So technically, he doesn't get a loss in his record, right? But it's going to come with some controversy, I believe. Now, I told all of you from the beginning, I have receipts. My opinion on the Ryan Garcia whole debacle has not changed, right? And here's the thing. Once you pop positive for PE, a banned substance, it's no longer if you're going to be held innocent. You're guilty. That's it. You can't fight a situation where there's a law in place. The doping agency deemed it so that from a certain period of time, they put in a law stating that all the athletes around the world, professional athletes, are responsible for whatever goes into their body. Period. There's no way around it. I told you guys Ryan Garcia was going to be suspended. The alarming thing is they really never found a definitive answer or where it came from. That being said, the 16 billionth of a gram, whatever their scientists, lab, lawyers, and the New York Boxing Athletic Commission, they took all the evidence into consideration and they handed down a sanction. They gave him a year, which is about right. That's what I think they were going to give him. A year to a 25-year-old kid, he should be able to bounce back from this. Being that the fact that Ryan Garcia won this fight and it solidified all his bullshit, the partying, the drinking, the smoking weed, it must have really blew up his head. The fact that he's suspended and this is going down as a tainted, victory and now a no contest, but he can take a moral victory from this and say, no matter what they say, Devin Haney, you and I and the entire world knows what took place in that ring. And you can never take that away. You can't take that image away from no one. We all saw that ass whooping. We saw it firsthand. And when I saw Ryan Garcia fight against Tank Davis, and Tank Davis had to answer that same test, let's think about this. Devin Haney, a week leading into that fight, there was two things he said in that fight. He said, Ryan Garcia, you're a quitter, and all you are is a left check hook. Okay. Tank Davis said the same thing. Tank Davis said, all you got is a left check hook and a little speed. So let's see how both fighters fared against Ryan's left check hook and his little bit of speed. When Tank Davis fought Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis admitted he was the hardest man to ever hit him. And he survived his onslaught. In fact, he learned how to move around it. And Ryan Garcia was a little bit overconfident. He was undefeated coming into that fight, and he was a little wild and reckless. But I believe he was in better shape. He was in way better shape, right? And when Tank Davis caught up to him, he put Ryan Garcia down twice. and he finished him, right? Let's see how Devin Haney performed against him. Well, Devin Haney said the same thing. All you are is a left check hook. You mean to tell me in the first round, in the first sequence, what did Devin Haney get caught with? A left check hook. Brother, what were you working on? If you knew all the answers to the test and you didn't pass the test, then what the hell were you doing? And I think Devin Haney bought too much into Ryan Garcia's little media meltdown that he might have not took him serious. But at the same time, I watched. What's up, brother? How you doing, Eric? I watched Devin Haney and Tank Davis in a sparring match that Floyd Mayweather released the footage. And in that sparring match, Tank Davis was fighting 3 people. Floyd Mayweather grabbed his hand. Adrian Berno jumped in the ring to hold the action. Tank Davis was beating the brakes off Devin Haney. Floyd was yelling at him, telling him to take it easy. All kinds of shit. That in the second one, Tank really didn't even want to spar against the kid because it was showing right then and there the same thing that Ryan Garcia did to him. In that sparring video, I noticed that Devin Haney didn't do well against pressure and power. He didn't. When Tank Davis decided to turn it on, he folded. He didn't do good in none of the exchanges when Tank Davis decided to go forward in those sparring, and I noticed that. And he couldn't deal with forward pressure like that and power. So now Ryan Garcia gets a suspension. He gets handed down a year. They take the victory away. Devin Haney, now he's changing his tune, talk about after the suspension, maybe they can meet up again, when he was adamant about not sharing the ring with him ever again. Right after that fight, when he went on the interview, that he looked real bad, and I can admit, Devin Haney. And, it just goes to show you that was a big flaw in Devin Haney's arsenal, and he needs to learn how to deal with that. But he's young. He's 25 years old. He hasn't even got his man strength. He has time. So I think we're going to see a better half of Devin Haney. He's in a bad situation right now. He's getting a lot of shit, and I think he needs to turn it around. He needs a big fight. Sergio Martin is rumored to be in his next opponent. Bob Arum bought that fight, and he's going to try to go after Devin Haney's WBC title if Devin Haney tries to pull out. So it's interesting to see where he goes from here. If I was Devin Haney, I would still take the fight. I know that, I made a shitload of money my last fight. Maybe not as much as it's being told, but he made enough money. He could take one of these fights right here. But the important thing about the Sandor Martin fight is the way Devin Haney performs in that fight, to show the fans and the public, like, he's back and he's going to be that dude. Okay, you can't come in and give another 12-round decision, I don't think. Depending how that looks, but another 12-round decision. Look, he had Regis Progress in a lot of trouble, and Devin Haney was criticized for that. Now, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said to myself, at least he stood disciplined. He didn't give Regis Progress any chances of trying to throw a lucky haymaker, going in, trying to finish him. I try to talk the situation down a little, but I'm starting to see that, yeah, Devin, you're going to have to start to put these guys down. And it's a similar situation with Canelo Alvarez. When's the last time Canelo Alvarez knocked anybody out? Caleb Plant. That's, when these guys are claiming to be the best, and, they're going to these 12-round decisions, and you see fighters like Terrence Crawford, he's like on a 10-fight knockout streak. Now, that's the best. You see, that's showing dominance. Fighters like Naoya Inoue, knocking everybody out, all top contenders, former champions. Now that's the best. That's the best. Fighters like Shakur Stevenson are revered as being, if not the best fighter in the world. Really. You're being revered as the best fighter in the world, and your last performance against Edwin De Los Santos, like, what the hell was that? Where that in the fight, a grand total, I believe, between both fighters of 112 punches thrown. Just to give you a rough estimate, Ponce threw against Subriel Matias threw 98 punches in the first round by himself. That's not tallying up Subriel's punches. That's just his punches alone. He threw 98 punches between Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos. The entire fight for 12 rounds combined, they threw 112 punches. But yet they're going to say that this guy is the best fighter in the world and that this is the kind of fighter that will beat Tank Davis. I don't see it. I don't see it. Just like I don't see what these guys are reporting when they're saying Frank the Ghost Martin put on this kind of performance. It's like they're giving him a pity performance. He did good with his inexperience. What was he supposed to do? He is a boxer. He was going to throw punches, right? He was going to look like a boxer in the ring. I do know he was going to do some boxing stuff. But how he really did it, he was lost from the opening bout. From the opening bell, he was completely lost. Even the rounds that the judges gave him, he didn't win. I'm trying to tell you something. He didn't do good at all against Tank Davis. And people are giving him like, oh, Frank the Ghost Martin. No, he did good. He was in there against, brother. That's not what you guys were saying leading into the fight. You guys were saying Frank the Ghost Martin was going to beat Tank Davis and that Frank the Ghost Martin was going to be his toughest challenge and that Frank the Ghost Martin was going to do way better than any fighter Tank's ever been in the ring with. That's what you said. And that's not what happened. You can't say that's what happened. What happened was Tank Davis dominated that man. He was nowhere near the best competition Tank Davis has been in the ring with. He didn't put up nowhere near a kind of performance. But yet, all of a sudden, Frank is getting all these praises. Listen, I like Frank, but I got to report what really happened. And I got to tell the truth. I'm not here to be sentimental. And if you're sentimental in boxing, I suggest you go watch something else. Because that dude did not do anything against Tank Davis, brother. He didn't even look good. Yo, Tank was flinching, getting huge reactions out of him. But they got no problem giving Frank the Ghost Martin the benefit of the doubt. I'm not here to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm here to call it like it is. This is not a sport that you almost win. You need to win. And you guys said that man had a chance on winning. Bullshit. He didn't have no chance. Zero. And it goes to show and speak to the fighter that Tank Davis truly is. Now, I got to listen. A lot of people want to say shit about Tank. He ducked this, he ducked that, he did this. All right, fine. Say what you want. Say what you want. Just beat him. Just beat him. Just beat him. I would love to see Lomachenko take that fight against Tank Davis. Boy, would I love that. If you get, man, listen, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe Lomachenko wants to fight Tank Davis. I don't believe it. Mm-mm. Nope. Don't believe it. And I think the only reason why Bob Arum right now would make that fight is because Lomachenko is on his way out and he's going to cash in with Lomachenko. He's going to sacrifice Loma to Tank because let's face it, how many big more fights you going to get out of Loma? And who you going to get? Shakur Stevenson and Loma's not going to look good. Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis might not look good. I don't know what, you know, uh, I don't know what Shakur, man. I gotta see what he's gonna do, man. Now, I'm on the fence with the kid. I just, some of these guys are really, really good and stuff like that, but they're so scared of putting their O on the line, and they want to retire undefeated that they're not taking these big fights. So I'm not sure if Shakur will dare to be great. I don't think he wants to lose. I don't think he wants to risk it all. You could have said anything you want against Floyd, but Floyd dared to be great. He fought the Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya and gave him all the bet. He told him you could pick everything, the ring size, the gloves. You could pick it all. You could even have the bigger portion of the money. Just fight me. And look, I think that Ryan Garcia right now can take this suspension, dust himself off. He's gonna be a draw when he comes back, right? I think that Ryan Garcia is a bigger draw now than Devin Haney for sure. The fact that Devin Haney's fight went up to purse bid and only one person bidded on it, oh my God, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. And these promotional companies, although they don't like each other and they're constantly at each other's throats, I really believe that they do come together in certain situations to really like prove to fighters you need us. It's cool to have your name on a t-shirt and say DHP promotion, but are you willing to put up your own money? Are you willing to bet on yourself? And I think Devin Haney should have bought that fight, his own fight. He's DHP promotion. Why didn't he make a bid? You see? And a lot of these companies, I heard Ed Hearn talking about it. They asked Ed Hearn, why didn't you bid on the Devin Haney fight? And I thought that you said that Devin Haney, you and Devin Haney will do business forever. And Ed Hearn got on and said, yeah, I did say that. But Devin Haney needs to show his loyalty to us, to me. Coming and signing a 3-fight deal, after you get your fights and you get up and you leave the promotion, you take everything we built. That's not showing loyalty to me. And I'm not going to invest money into you, losing $1 million on the Sandor Martin fight. But had you been signed to me and you were going through this rough patch, Devin Haney, and I bought the fight and I lost $1 million, I would know that you were signed with me and there would be better and bigger fights in the future because I believe in you as a fighter and you'll bounce back. But since you're not signed with me, why should I put my money up for you? And no other promotional company came to that aid of the rescue of that fight. And Bob Arum bought it for $2.4 million. It's crazy. What's up, Bam Bam? If Loma can come into that fight on his game, he could box to victory against Tank. Listen, if it was Loma against Shakur Stevenson, I would believe that would to be true. I would, yeah, he could probably box to victory with fighter with Shakur Stevenson because even if he evades him, Loma's footwork is just that much good that he can follow Shakur around. I don't think you want to follow Tank Davis around. And I don't think that Loma can go exchange punch for punch with Tank Davis. No, I don't. I don't see where Loma is just gonna see. Here's the problem. What you saw with Tank Davis against Frank the Ghost Martin is not his fighting style. Don't be confused. Tank Davis doesn't fight all fights the same. That's what makes him unique. That approach he took against Frank the Ghost Martin was only um, diverted to him. It was only geared up and put together for Frank the Ghost Martin. What you will see against Lomachenko with Tank Davis is Tank Davis's true boxing ability. That's what you're going to see because he's in against a boxer. It's going to be way different of a fight. I'm trying to tell you. Tank Davis is not going to go in there in the high guard and you think that Loma is just going to spin him and hit him to the body, get in between his guard and move around Tank Davis all night, peppering him? You really think that Tank Davis is going to fight that kind of fighter, that kind of fight against Loma? You would be sadly mistaken. I dare you, just for shits and giggles, go back and watch all Tank Davis's highlights. You're going to notice something. He doesn't fight everybody the same. When he fought Mario Barrio, look at how he fought him in comparison to to Frank Martin. When he fought what's his name? When he won the world title, but that was at 130 pounds, right? I like that fight too, right? There was when he boxed against Leo Santa Cruz, Tank Davis, he had to box more in that match. He was also using a lot of pressure to Leo Santa Cruz too to try to break him down. But you saw his boxing ability. Whenever Tank Davis gets a guy that's in front of him, that listen, if you want to brawl with him, everything. Tank is nice. So it's not going to look the same when he fights Loma. It's not. And I don't think that Loma is a hell of a boxer, man. He is a hell of a boxer, right? But Tank Davis has this knack. He has this knack. He's really good at it. Is finding his opponent's chin. When you can knock that many people out with uppercuts, brother, uppercuts take a lot. You usually have to slip a punch to get in between, to come underneath and throw a punch with all your power and confidence that you're going to land it like that. He's well known for those uppercuts for a reason. He's a master at throwing them. Lomachenko has an amateurish guard. He doesn't have an amateurish style of fighting. No, he has a professional level style of fighting. But his guard concerns me. Devin Haney was able to find his body because he didn't know how to tuck his elbows in. And that comes from amateur boxing. That's how amateurs guards are up. And he has 2 gold medals. Remind you, 2 gold medals, not 1, 2. That's how long he's been fighting in that guard. It's something that is just him now. And that's going to be hard to break. As you can see in his last fight, he still has that same issue since the first fight as a pro. It's never been corrected. He tries to correct it. You can see it. You can see it in his fights. He's thinking about it. He's making, as soon as the fight starts to go, he diverts right back into his old guard. And his hands or his elbows are pointed like this. Lomachenko, yeah. And that's going to be a big flaw that Calvin Ford and Tank's team, they're fucking smart, bro. They're smart. Their game plans that they putting together, bro, the way he shut Frank down like that, with all this hype behind Frank, I don't think people are really giving him credit. And I don't think people realize what took place, what truly took place in that ring. Man, that was a fucking masterclass, man. Yo, at no point, and I'm telling you, even the rounds that he won, Frank lost those rounds. And the reason why I say he lost those rounds is because unbeknownst to him, he didn't know he was in quicksand. He was the last person in the ring to realize what truly was going on. Yeah, he gave away that round, but for a reason. And Frank wasn't making no adjustments. He didn't know how to adjust to it. He didn't know how to work around that. It was just, and case in point, there was a fighter that did that same style just in that same week, right? When Gary Antoine Russell tried that same approach against that guy, what did the dude do? Bro, he stepped back, countered, created distance, hit the Russell kid with nice sharp uppercuts, left check hooks, spun him off him, pushed him to the corner, boom, 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 step back. When he came with that forward aggression, he let the Russell kid come in, throw his shot, block, hit, spin him, bam, 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 work the jab, work the jab. He worked around that pressure, and that's how you do it. That is how you do it. Frank the Ghost Martin couldn't do that. He didn't know how to do that. But yet, they're going to sell it to you. This is Tank's biggest fight. This is his biggest challenge. This guy right here, Tank's, all his other guys were tomato cans. But not this guy. This is the guy right here. And then after the fight, I was like, huh? What happened to the guy? Where's the guy at? I'm still waiting for him to show up. And I know it sounds like I'm being harsh on Frank Martin, but in order for me to really give Tank Davis his just dues, bro, you got to tell it like it is. And then Frank the Ghost Martin needs to take this loss on the chin and realize where he lacked in and come back and bounce back better than ever. I think Frank the Ghost Martin, he has potential of being a world champion. Unfortunately, he ran into Tank. And that's the truth. For as much shit that they give Tank and they talk this guy up like he was, nah, I'm not going to let him off the hook. Nah, I can be critical on him, but I respect him for what he did. Yes. I respect him for taking the fight. Yes. But if you're, like I said, if you're going to start giving these men these kind of credibilities, right, and talk them up like this, well, then after the fight, whatever the result was, tell him what the fuck just happened in the fight. Tell the truth, damn it. At least tell the truth. He was lost. He was lost. Yo, Frank was like flinching. He was getting big reactions from him. He was like, yo, he was shook, bro. He was shook, man. So he wasn't ready for Tank. And Tank showed that to the world. And like now, look, what do we have in the future? After the suspension with Ryan Garcia, I know all you guys want to see that Devin Haney back. Do you really think that Devin Haney's going to put that fight behind him? What can Devin Haney do in a year? Typically, a boxer in 1 year fights 3 times. Typically, in a year. You think Devin Haney's going to fight 3 times before that year is up on Ryan Garcia? And do you guys think that Ryan Garcia is going to stay in shape throughout that year so that when the year is up, he's ready to go back to work? Or is he going to need more time to get in shape? Is he going to have to get off the couch with a beard, a belly, smoking weed? Hey, dudes, yeah, I'm coming back to boxing. What kind of Ryan Garcia are we going to get after a year? I can't answer that question for him. Only Ryan Garcia can answer that. Loma doesn't have the power to keep Tank off him. You know that, Bam Bam. You know that. If Loma didn't have the power for as much as clean shots he caught Devin Haney with, how many clean punches did Loma flush catch Devin Haney in the jaw? He didn't put Devin Haney down. Ryan Garcia hit Devin Haney one time. He was hurt. He ain't never recovered from that. And then he put him away. Listen, if you ask me, the referee saved him from a couple of those knockdowns. We all know this. Okay, so technically, Ryan dropped him a lot more in that fight. Okay? And Lomachenko didn't do that to Devin Haney. He doesn't have enough power to keep Tank off him. If Ryan Garcia can crack Tank Davis like that, and the Tank kept coming forward, Loma, you don't got enough. I don't see it. I don't see it. He would have to catch Tank with a series of punches, bro, throughout a courses of like 4 or 5 rounds. And I'm talking like he's just catching Tank on some amateur shit. You're not gonna fucking punch Tank Davis in the face like that all night, bro. What do you think Tank Davis is gonna be doing? Just standing there? Oh, go ahead, Loma, punch me. I'm not gonna hit you back. Bro, everybody's talking about, yeah, listen, I love me some Lomachenko, bro. When Loma was the Matrix coming up, boy, was he exciting, man. Was he exciting? It's just that I noticed quickly, even on his third fight, when they announced his age, I was like, this nigga's like 29 years old, 28 years old already. How the hell are you starting your boxing career at like fucking 27? It was like, I was like, and then they were like, oh, he won 2 gold medals. 2 gold medals? What the hell are you going to do with 2 gold medals? 1 gold medal is good enough. his father cradled him. His father was too scared to let his son turn pro. Kept him in the amateurs too long. That's why we're about to see one of the quickest rise and descent of a good boxer, Loma. He's going to be his way out of boxing, and he's not going to even have 20 professional fights. He's got like 18 professional fights now. He's 36 years old with 18 fights. Are you fucking crazy? Devin Haney is 25 years old, and he has over 30 fights. He's 25. He has over 30 professional fights. Lomachenko is 36 years old, and he has 18 fights, guys. Bro. That's why Top Rank invested so much money into Loma so early, Bob Arum. And that's why it looked at like they were using a lot of favoritism for Loma, and a lot of people said that the corruption in the sport was veering its ugly head because of all the favoritism that Loma was getting. But I have to admit that even if you win a gold medal, you typically, when you come to boxing, that catapults your career. And you get a quicker shot at a world title with a gold medal. He didn't have 1, he had 2. So I got to understand the fact that his age, and he had the credentials to get pushed along. And then they found out, in fact, he was actually good, right? So, they were breaking a lot of rules for Loma. Yes, they did. They broke a lot of rules. They showed him a lot of favoritism, and Loma had a lot of help. But that still doesn't take away from his boxing ability. He wasn't a bum, and he's nowhere near a bum. Lomachenko is that dude, right? When it comes to Tank and Loma, Tank's a Tank for a reason, guys. I'm trying to tell you guys. He's going to stop Loma. He's going to stop Loma, bro. He's going to be the first man to knock Lomachenko the fuck out. Tank Davis doesn't get into fights to allow you to the scorecards to be read. You got to remember that. Esau Pitbull Cruz survived because of the fact that, in fact, for the first time, Tank Davis was fighting a smaller guy, and it showed when he broke both his hands in the fight. He broke one severely and fractured the other one. Why? Because he was so short, he was punching him right in his head. Because Tank is used to swinging upwards, right? And when he was fighting a smaller guy, it must have been a little weird to him. And his punches were off, and he broke both his hands. And you could see that fight clearly. Tank was fighting the fight with one hand. You could see it. He wasn't throwing, he was just fighting with one hand. Somewhere in the mid rounds, he fought the rest of the fight with one hand. So he couldn't get him out of there. But other than Isaac Pitbull Cruz, you don't read no scorecards in a Tank Davis fight. You don't go to the scorecards, bro. There's none of that shit. Where the fuck do you see that at? Tank is going to stop him, bro. Trust me when I'm telling you, bro. And the fact that, Tank saw firsthand, right? Devin Haney hit Loma a lot in that fight. He just didn't have the power. And Devin Haney didn't have the power to back up Ryan. And Devin Haney didn't have the power to finish Regis Progress. That's all you saw. But he did surprise Loma to the body a lot. You saw when Devin Haney was hitting Loma to the body, Loma stopped for a second. He was catching Loma. Now imagine Tank Davis hitting Loma's body. Somebody that can crack. Bro, it's not going to work out too good. That's why I'm saying, listen, guys. Yeah, man, I love me some Loma. I think he's a great boxer. But I think Tank Davis is an even smarter fighter. Tank Davis just might not completely box Loma. And he might just brutalize him. When I think Tank got the skills and the ability to do so. I would love the fight. I would love to see the fight no matter what. No matter what I believe, I would love to see that fight. I hope Loma takes this fight. It'll also be a unification. If Loma's serious about getting all four of those belts, well, then these are the men he's going to have to go through. If Loma's going to sit back and wait, he can't. You know why? Because time is not his friend. Loma doesn't have a lot of time. So it's now or never. You had your shot against Devin Haney. There was no other more perfect way Loma could have achieved his dream by getting all four belts when one guy gave you the opportunity of winning all four. You lost the fight. You lost the fight. Opinions aside, I don't care what you guys, your opinions. I care what the record books are going to say. That's all I can go on. I'm sorry. I can have an opinion on the fight. Yeah, I can have an opinion. But my opinion doesn't matter. Who won the fight? What's it going to say in the record books? Enough said. That's all I go on. I can't go on my opinion on who I believe won the fight. No, who actually did. That's it. So now, look, guys, what's up, Frontline? How you doing, baby? Let's scroll up a little bit. I want to touch on this. Troll, what up, man? Tank definitely win on points, though. You don't think Tank? No, Tank's not a point guy. He's not a point guy. Tank gives away a lot of rounds. And as far as points go, he doesn't really try to point you to death. But in the mix of him executing his game plan, he's going to test you. Tank's going to test you in between. It's not like he completely takes a round off. Tank never takes a round off. Whatever Tank is doing in that ring, when he's doing it, whether he's applying pressure, hitting you hard, getting you frustrated so that you want to get that punch back. And in the pursuit of wanting to get that punch back, you exert a little bit more energy than you should have. Then he executed that part. Each round he comes down, and that's what we call in the sport of boxing breaking your opponent down round by round. Tank's a master in that. But I just want you to keep in mind, he does not fight every fight the same way. The man has skills. He does have skills. And he's incredibly fast. If you don't think that Tank Davis is incredibly fast, ask Mario Barrio when he hit him with that first shot that dropped him. I want to remind you that the shot that dropped Mario Barrio was a shot that he was standing directly in front of him, and it was an overhand shot. It was so fast, Mario Barrio couldn't make an adjustment. He barely saw the punch coming. That's how fast Tank Davis is. Remember how he hit him? It was like a lunging punch, right? You can't just pull that off on a professional boxer. Not an undefeated young kid like Mario Barrio. And what did Tank do? Listen, Payano, listen, look, when Naoya Inoue knocked out Payano in the World Series of Boxing, that was a fast punch, I thought. I thought the way that he led him with the jab and shifted with the right and caught him, and Payano fell like a log. I thought that was one of the most, it was an impressive knockout. But when Tank does it, like when he set up Leo Santa Cruz's only mistake is he threw that same punch 3 times. The ability to make the adjustment in the moment is fucking high, man. Yo, Tank sat back. He threw 1, 2. He went to throw that third one, and Leo Santa Cruz was laying in the corner while his father was watching him right from his wheelchair like this in awe. The next thing you knew. And Leo Santa Cruz in that fight, his corner was convinced that after the 6th round, they were going to have their way with Tank Davis. Yo, Tank is, that dude knows what the fuck he's doing, bro. He really does, man. And I've been seeing it, but the problem is Tank Davis hasn't been really serious with the sport. It looks like he's starting to get to that point in his career right now. The Tank Davis I saw in the ring against Frank the Ghost Martin, that guy had abs. He wasn't fat, pudgy. His face wasn't blown up like a typical Tank Davis fight. He had no abs in a lot of his fights. He wasn't really conditioned and trained. He wasn't right. This Tank Davis right here that I saw, he looked chiseled. He looked ripped. He looked focused. You could see it in his face. He it's like he got a newfound love, renowned for the sport. And I'm telling you, now it seems like he wants all the smoke. He has the pieces lined up in his life. And I think that we're going to see a better and stronger, more dominant half of Tank Davis's career. And I really, truly believe that. Time is going to tell. I'm going to stand on my square. I got video proof right here. If I'm proven wrong and Tank Davis fucks up everything, that's going to be on Tank Davis. But what I see in him, the type of fighter that I see, it's just right now, no one's stepping up to the plate. There has been no one, and there's a lot of good fighters out there that, we should see these fights. Loma being one in particular. Shakur Stevenson, for as much as I think Tank's right. For as much as you guys think that would be a good fight, Tank said Shakur would run from him. And he might be right. So, until I see somebody stand up to him, what's eventually probably going to have to happen is that Tank's going to have to veer off to 140 pounds, and that is a shame, because that's not where Tank Davis belongs, if you ask me. 135 pounds should be the maximum for a guy his size. Stop trying to push these guys up, to fight bigger guys until they finally lose. Beat them where they're grading. If you're so tough and you're so good, well, then why don't you beat him at his division? Let's see you do that. So that's all I'm saying in that aspect. I think that right now Tank is the best at 135. And I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand on that. I think a lot of things got shook up at the 140. It's the Liam Barrow hour now. It's definitely the Liam Barrow show. Let's see what Liam Barrow does after this fight. We already know Isa Pitbull Cruz is fighting Jose Valenzuela. So, and Devin Haney is, scheduled, if not retiring for 2 years, allegedly. All these fighters take these L's and then they want to retire. So I don't think he's retiring, but I think he should honor the fight against Sandor Martin. And if he wants to get back in the good graces with the fans, go out and knock out Sandor Martin impressively. If you can do that, take a low paycheck for the ability to shut the fucking world up, Devin Haney. Shut all these guys up, and knock out Sandor Martin. Unfortunately, even if he knocks out Sandor Martin, that's not going to satisfy most boxing critics. No. The only thing that can satisfy the boxing world, I believe, for Devin Haney, he's going to have to beat Ryan Garcia. He's going to have to fight him again. If you got that O taken away, Ryan's going to want that win back. And you're going to have to prove to the world that you were the superior fighter. Coming into that fight, Devin Haney had a lot to say. He said he was the superior fighter. That's not what I saw. That's not what I saw at all. And for as much as Ryan Garcia's technique wasn't even superior, that says a lot about you, Mr. Devin Haney, because if Ryan Garcia still looked like shit beating you, what does that say about you? We all know he ain't knocking out Sandor Martin. Yo, listen, he's got to do something. He's got to do something. Honestly, you guys, do you really think that Devin Haney can win back fans with a unanimous decision or a loss against Sandor Martin? Anything under a knockout, guys, he's going to have to try to knock him out. Hey, I don't care. Listen, Devin Haney has some punching power. He does. Because I saw Regis Progress's face. Right? And what was that tall dude's name that he hit him and he almost spun his head? They got a meme like Devin Haney spinning his head around. So he hit that tall kid. He was a skinny kid though, right? But he hasn't really got that many knockouts from there. But he's gonna have to try to knock out Sandor Martin. I mean, Teofimo Lopez couldn't do it. And I think Teo's a better boxer than Devin Haney now. I think Teofimo Lopez will give it to Devin Haney. Yeah, because I can say a lot about Tito and his stupid antics. I don't like what Tio talks about. I don't like how he acts. I don't like how he's a sore loser. But all that to the side, I'm smart enough to put all that to the side. I judge Teofimo Lopez for what he does in the ring. That's what I'm judging him for. I don't get his outside antics and his mouth mixed in with his boxing ability to give my assessment on what's going on. Because if I did that, it would blind me to what was truly going on in the ring with him, because I would be speaking out of anger. You see? So when I judge a fighter, I take away all that bullshit, all the outside noise, everything. I know how to separate the two. And Teofimo Lopez can fight. He can fight. Yeah, he can. When he wants to fight, bro, he can fight. And he can make good adjustments in the ring. And when he's comfortable and he's thinking, Sandor Martin put the kind of pressure on. I don't know. Tio just doesn't show up in some of these fights where he doesn't think that these guys, his arrogance, when he doesn't feel like you should be in the ring with you, he doesn't really give you that all his boxing, when he feels like you're a challenge and it's a big fight, that's when the best of Tio seems to come out. When Teofimo Lopez beat Loma, you know, Loma, I don't, he beat Loma. Yes, he beat him. But ironically, Loma didn't fight for like the first 5 rounds in that fight. When Loma started warming up, I don't know if it was truly a shoulder injury or what, but once Loma started fighting Tio, he was giving Tio a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And I remember that night I was saying to myself, here comes Loma. Oh shit, he's backing Tio up now. Here comes, and then Tio bit down on the mouthpiece and he fought a champion's fight. Tio really showed that he wanted to win that fight. Bro, I remember watching young Tio fight Loma, and that night I became a fan of Teofimo Lopez. I was just like, man, good for you, young man. Good for you, for standing your ground and fighting fucking Loma. And no one thought Tio was gonna win that. I was rooting for Tio in that fight, and I knew when it went to the scorecards on that night, I could remember. I'm thinking of myself watching that fight, and I was like, "Yo, he fucking did it! He did it! Tio beat him." I was like, "Yo, he fucking beat Loma," and he did. But and when I look at that, Devin Haney, I don't think is gonna beat him. I don't think Devin Haney's gonna beat Tio, man. I think Tio's probably right now. Now, Tio is one of the strongest 140 pounders now that they eliminated Subriel Matias, because Subriel Matias was the best 140 pounder because of his activity. He wasn't the best because he had the best style, or because he was the best because he was the better battle tested in that division. He had the most wins against 140-pound champions, which qualified him for being the best 140 pounder. Now, whether or not you thought his style was the best style, that was up for opinion. But the best tested was Subriel, and he still is, right? But he's not a champion anymore. So now, currently, the best champion at 140 pounds, that falls onto Tio. He has the most title defenses. He beat the bigger names, So and Liam Paro just beat Subriel Matias, yes, but other than Subriel Matias, his biggest win is Montana Love. You can't put him over Tio. You see, so Tio's the best right now. Then you got, I would have to give it to Devin Haney, then Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and then now the newly acquired Liam Paro. Until Liam Paro proves himself as well. You can't, I hate when guys are merited or given awards for beating that guy. Yeah, you beat Subriel, but you didn't beat everybody Subriel fought. You're going to have to do that on your own. You don't get to claim Subriel Matias' career just because you beat him. It doesn't work that way. Just like I'm not giving Tio the credit of beating Josh Taylor. Yeah, you beat Josh Taylor. That's just one fight, bro. You're not going to beat the man that was the man, that could have been the man. No, that fucking fantasy island boxing. I don't do that shit. So, which actually, in fact, a good fight would be Teofimo Lopez against Liam Paro, another Australian fighter. Yeah, you can go back to Australia and try to redeem that loss, Tio, to a former Australian fighter and George Camboza. Try it. You know what I'm saying? Let me read some of y'all message. Devin is fucked. Tio is a slick fighter with a little pop, but shouldn't take much to make him do the Devin Haney. Listen. Texas, what's up? Yes, I say Tio, as long as he gets off the BS. He can beat damn near anybody, bro. I pick him to beat Loma. Yeah, you did. Listen, I was going for him in that Loma fight too. What, he'll outbox Sander but KO Edwin? You're pushing it, Edwin. Listen, I'm just wishful thinking for Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see no other outcome. I want him to turn into a beast into that fight. I'm not sure if he can knock him out. No. But anything less than that, Devin has to get out of this slump he's in. And after that loss, getting this no contest, still remaining the champion and crying, it's not a good look, bro. It's like that dude on the block getting caught back with all that work, and he ain't got nobody to bail him out because he ain't got $50 in his pocket, right? And he's out by 1 o'clock. Talk about, what's up, bro? How you doing? What you mean? What's up, bro? Yo, right? Suspect. You suspect, Holmes. Devin Haney right now is suspect. He's gonna have to put up a better performance. That's what I'm saying. Matias is still one of the most dangerous fighters at 140. Let people call him out. Let me get down here. Let people call him what? Call him one dimensional. People call him one dimensional or unskilled. They will find out the hard way when their fighter is in the ICU. Listen, he's got to be reminded that when you start to climb up to star status, some of this happens to a lot of our favorite fighters. They get overwhelmed with all the celebrities and the attention that they're getting at home. And it can be very distracting once you get home. The 2 weeks leading into the fight, Subriel was in Puerto Rico for those 2 weeks, and everybody was pulling them in every kind of direction, and there was a big fight. And I think that had a lot to do with it. Um, you got to remember the last time Subriel Matias kicked himself in the ass and saw that he needed to dedicate himself, what he did to those last 5 fighters. This was a rude awakening for the man. This right here shows that not even at the highest level can you fuck around. Subriel Matias learned a very valuable lesson, and he lost his title in learning that lesson. Subriel Matias right now is fucking pissed off. A man that can do that kind of shit to other men in the ring is pissed off. Y'all know what happened. He's coming. He's coming. And he wants his belt back. He's gonna want his belt back. He's going after Liam Paro. You guys do know this, right? And he's gonna take out whoever they put in front of him in order to get back in line at a shot at his belt. He doesn't feel that that's Liam Paro's belt. Liam Paro is holding on to his belt, and he's coming for it. He's coming. Mark my words. Mark my words. Eddie ain't gonna approve the rematch. It doesn't matter what Eddie wants. You're fucking with the IBF. I don't care what Ed Hearn wants. You fuck around and don't honor your mandatory for the IBF, you will no longer be champion. even hint to the fact that you're not going to defend that belt, gone. Hey, Terrence Crawford, what are you doing with our IBF champion? Oh, I'm going to fight at 154. Gone. Huh? How many IBF champions were stripped? Once Subriel Matias becomes Liam Parles mandatory, there is nothing Ed Hearn can do. Ed Hearn doesn't control boxing. You got to satisfy your mandatory. And I understand he's only going to have one mandatory per year, right? Or they can issue another one if the IBF wants to be dicks. They can, right? So, like I said, the only person technically that could be in front of Subriel Matias is Richard Hitchinson, because he fought for the title eliminator. So that's who I think Liam Parles might fight. But under Richard Hitchinson, Matias has wins over all those guys. And according to the way the ranking system goes, he's not going to drop down but one or two. And if he fights the number one guy or the number two guy, whoever which one it is, right? And Subriel beats him, guess what happens? Mandatory. Guess what Ed Hearn can do? Nothing. He's going to have to take the fight. He's going to have to take the fight. You fuck around with the IBF if you want to. Mark my words, they'll strip him of that belt. Mark my words. Bro, bam. It's the fucking truth. Subriel Matias is coming back for that belt, bro. If you think he's going to leave this like this, bro, this ain't Jermell Charlo. You get smacked and downstairs by Caleb Plant and don't do absolutely nothing. He ain't Jermell Charlo. He ain't none of these other guys. That's Subriel Matias, the boogeyman, the man that took another man's life with these. He taking lives up in the ring, bro. That's not the type of man you turn your back on. And you act like you're walking away with something that belonged to him and that he's not going to come after what's his. No, Subriel ain't that kind of dude. He ain't cut from that kind of cloth talking about, I'm cool with that. That's a killer right there. And I mean that in the lightest way. He coming for that belt, bro. I'm trying to tell you guys. That Subriel is mad, bro. Bro, I called him. He's so mad. He don't want to take an interview, bro. Nothing. He's mad at himself. He's going to lock in laser focus, and he's coming like the Terminator. And he ain't going to be denied. You're going to have to beat him. So, and that's what's going to have to happen. Subriel ain't got no boogeyman in him. Let you tell it. Let you tell it. Got one body in the ring and retired 5 fighters in a row. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't coincidence, right? You can hit a free throw, a half court shot in basketball one time. Whew, that's luck. If you can do that 5 times in a row, that's no longer luck. That's skill. You can say what you want. Just because your mouth says he ain't no boogeyman, the shit he's doing says otherwise. Yeah, he had a bad night. We've seen that in fighters. Yeah, he lost a fight. We've also seen that in fighters. We've also seen fighters bounce back. Right? And if I'm not mistaken, he was a world champion. So at least he did that. At least he did that. What's your favorite fighter doing? What's your favorite fighter doing? You got a lot to say about people not being the boogeyman, doing boogeyman shit. But he loses a fight, and all of a sudden, According to this guy, he's the type of guy that'll come out and say Subriel Matias was exposed and act like they said something. Exposed? He was never exposed. He lost the fight. That's called losing a fight. Being exposed would mean you got completely dominated and your style was exposed. But when people don't got nothing else to talk about, they only go copy, paste, and print what they heard someone else say. Someone else says exposed, they come on my channel and say exposed and act like they said something. Exposed. You don't know nothing about boxing. What I saw him was lose a fight. That's a difference. He lost the fight. He wasn't exposed. Where in the fight was he exposed? He didn't perform. He wasn't exposed. Where in the fight was he not? Like fucking, did he get knocked out 10 times in the fight? Was he brutalized? Did Liam Paro was smacking him around all night and expose his fighting style for what it's not? That's not what I saw. Right? And watch. Every fighter is entitled to a bad night. Shakur Stevenson had one of the worst boxing nights we've seen in quite some time. Are we going to say that Shakur Stevenson sucks? Are we going to say that Shakur Stevenson is a nobody? Are we going to say that Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, was losing in most of his fights? Are we going to say that Tank Davis is a bum? David the Monster Benavidez didn't look good after the 4th round in his last fight. What are we going to say about him? Fighters are entitled to bad nights. They're entitled to them. It happens. And because of that, one performance, you're ready to come on my show and say, you know what? He's no longer the boogeyman. You know what? He's exposed. You know what? Subriel ain't no good. Brother, you don't know nothing about boxing then. He had a bad night. He'll be back. Matias was sending Haney to fucking hell. Shit. Haney was exposed. Now that is being exposed. Now that is exposure. How the fuck are you going to say, yo, all you are is a left check hook in the first round, get with a left check hook. What the fuck were you working on? That's being exposed. Matias fought the entire fight. And at some point in the fight, he had Liam Paro in the corner almost ready to quit. And his corner was talking him into the fight. That's how much trouble he had him in the fight. He just ended up losing the fight at the end. And it might be because this dude, Subriel Matias, shouldn't have been doing some things that Subriel Matias should not have been doing. And that was staying up late with those rappers all them 2 weeks in Puerto Rico, drinking and smoking again. And that, whose fault is that? That's Subriel Matias' fault. It is his fault. Well, now, if it is his fault, let him dust himself off and pick himself back up. What I'm saying to you is, yeah, he made a mistake that some boxers make in this world. They let the fame and the money and everything get to them. And he's going to learn from this. But he's not trash. They didn't expose him. No. He fucked up, bro. He's got to admit that. He fucked up, bro. And I know this because I talked to some people, but I didn't really want to get on them. You know, I didn't want to like make it official and like stamp it because, you know, he made a mistake, man. He made a fucking mistake, bro. He shouldn't have been doing some things he was doing out in Puerto Rico, man. He knows it. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. But he's going to bounce back from this. This is just a learning curve. That's it. Learning how to deal with money, celebrities, all that shit. I've talked about it. And you're going to be confused. You're going to think that he sucks now all of a sudden. No, man. He fucked up and he's going to bounce back better than ever. And he's going to hurt the next man. I would hate to see the next man you put in front of Subriel Matias. I guarantee you that fucking much. Bro, if Subriel Matias loses his next fight, I'll shut this whole show down. The next time I'll come back on, I'll be like, what's up, fight fans? This is round 2 sports talk. Right? Because I don't believe it. I'll stand on that much, bro. The next man that signs up to fight Subriel Matias, I feel bad for that dude. I feel bad because he's gonna have a point to prove. Watch. Mark my words. Mark my words. And I'll stand on that. I'll stand on that. No one will ever forget that ass whooping Devin Haney got. Brothers, you guys know that shit. Come on, man. No matter if they taint the decision, take it away as a no contest, bro. Whenever I want to watch that fight again, I'll go press play. Blah, blah, blah. Well, how did Devin Haney do? Oh shit, Devin. Oh, Devin. Oh, you mean to tell me that you had your opponent in the ring talking to the referee for you, telling the referee to stop the fight? Come on, man. Look, he can't take no more. I'm beating the brakes off of him. He's pleading with the ref in your fight while you're fighting to stop the fight. But Devin Haney wasn't exposed. But Devin Haney, what is Devin Haney then? Come on, man. With this bullshit. Yo, Subriel, he gonna turn right back into that boogeyman. And now that he doesn't have a belt, he can legitimately take that title back as the boogeyman of the division. It's not gonna be for long because he's gonna quickly make a race for that IBF title. So yeah, I know that Subriel is still under the IBF sanctioning body, and they love him. So the IBF organization loves themselves some Subriel Matias. And if he gets himself back in position to be the legitimate number one contender, mandatory, the day he becomes the mandatory, he's putting in that paperwork to go back after what he's. And whoever has that belt, whether Liam Paro falls in his next fight, I don't know. I have no idea. But I do know one thing. Whoever has that belt around their waist, that's who Subriel Matias is going to go after. He wants his belt back first, and he's going to go get it. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. I believe it, and I know it. I know it for one reason. Well, I guess I can say this because it wouldn't be me revealing anything, right? I could say this, right? I did call them, so I did talk to some people, and I know his plans. But without giving away too much, I know Subriel's going after that belt. You know, it's not up to me to say his next move because I can't. You know, they got to announce that, I guess. But yeah, that's why I'm confident when I'm telling you he's going after that belt. It came out of his mouth. He said he don't give a fuck who's in the way. He's going. He's going to go get his. So Darren Haney paid the lawyers. Over and over. He loves watching it. Oh shit, he throws a jab like Ricky Martin. Yo, y'all going at it, huh? Yeah, most of his opponents had undefeated records. I'm just trying to tell you guys, man, that believe me when I tell you, please, for the you guys that were listening to the voice of reasoning. I'm trying to tell you without telling you. You understand? I'm trying to tell you without telling you. Read between the lines. He fucked up. He fucked up. That really wasn't him. And he's going to be back stronger than ever. He's going to learn from this. And he's going after that belt. So I'm going to leave it as that. But trust me when I tell you, I would not want to be that guy, the next guy that has to fight Subriel Matias. I don't want to be that guy. It's going to be a great fight. I'm going to tell you right now. Where a lot of these fighters go from here, I want to see truly if, Bob Arum is ready to give Loma the green light to take a Tank Davis fight, and will Lomachenko take the Tank Davis fight? I think Tank Davis is in a position in his life where that he's ready to take on all the smoke now. He has his promotional ways now. He's the one that's responsible for his career. Now, if Tank Davis, if we notice that he's not taking these big fights, we can honestly say this is due in part to Tank Davis. Now, before we could say Mayweather wasn't taking these fights because Mayweather doesn't like to co-promote. They want like all the recognition basically for the PBC when they're hosting their events. You know, they've done business with Top Rank. It hasn't always worked out for the PBC. You know, Mayweather right now being rumored that he fired Leonard Ellaby and that he hired Frank. So it's like there's a lot of moving pieces going around, but Tank Davis is basically can work with any promotional company because he's not technically signed. He did do the fight deal. The fight deal is with the TV networks. And I think he has with Prime, Amazon Prime, he has like a 6-7 fight deal, but that has nothing to do with the promotion. So he's kind of free to really negotiate fights. So if we see that Tank Davis is not fighting these fights, that's when I'll come out and call Tank on his shit. Now I'll have to be like, wait a minute, Tank, because I won't let him get by with that. There's no way I'm going to let him just slide through. Now that I see that Tank Davis is really in that position, now prove to the world that that was bad management and not your decision making, Tank. Prove to the world that you're going to take all the toughest fights now. That's what I want to see. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But if he takes too many left turns, two suspect left turns, fuck you, Tank, you're ducking. And I'll fucking call him out on it. You know what I'm saying? No. You take two wrong left turns in your career right now, you are no longer the driver of the vehicle. You know what I mean? So, because some of these guys want to talk tough and they want to sell it like they really, and I know it can be confusing, but nah, you'll see it for your own eyes. Just like Goodman. Goodman got in the ring with Naoya Inoue, poking out his chest, talking about, yo, Naoya Inoue, I've been the champion for over a year. Either vacate the belt or fight me. And Naoya Inoue said, yeah, I'll fight you. I'll fight you next. He said, whoa. Why so fast? Why don't I take a tune-up fight? Yo, you just got in the ring in front of me and challenged me. And when I give you the fight, you don't want it? And he was live, like pretending he wanted that smoke in front of the cameras. He was talking right? What happened? No fight, right? And you start to see who the fighters that are full of shit, and you can tell who's not taking these fights sometimes. Sometimes it's just promotional shit, and I can see that. But it's remarkable how Errol Spence Jr. only has one fighter. He's probably the smallest promotional company on planet Earth with one fighter. And he got the Tank fight. You mean to tell me Errol Spence Jr. got his only fighter, the lottery fight, and none of you guys can get this fight together? Come on, man. Make it make sense. Please. Why hasn't Tank Davis and Devin Haney fought? Why? Why hasn't he fought Tio? Why? And these fights can't get made? Come on, man. So, like, listen, now I see that Tank Davis, he's in a position where he's taking control of his career. He's making better boxing decisions. Let's see what happens. I know Subir Matias for a fact is going to be back on his game, stronger than ever. I'm trying to tell you guys in the nicest way. But if you guys don't want to believe it, you guys can say what you want. But I'm going to stick by what I know. And he's coming for his. All right? Devin Haney can't sell a bag of peanuts. Yo, you mean to tell me he can't sell a bag of peanuts at his own fight while working the consecutive stands? Devin Haney's fighting on that night and trying to, I got your peanuts here. Yo, listen, that's what I mean. And that's why I say he's going to have to find a way to knock out Sandor Martin. I don't see him doing it. That's a big stretch. It's a tough assignment for a guy with that kind of power. Somehow, some way, he's going to have to find it. Whether you set it up, go down to the body, chop him down like a tree. It might not be a one-punch knockout, but you got enough power to put together a knockout, Devin Haney. And you're going to have to work that in there. I don't care how long it takes you. You better do it before that last bell of that last round rings. So that's all I see it. What? Watch the Mill City interview with Eddie. He said Matias would beat him worse than Ryan. Matias will get 25 to life after. Yo! Yo! Yo, he's going to beat the brakes off of Devin Haney. Road Rage, what's up, my man? Listen, send you shipping on Cash App for a t-shirt. Is that what you got you? I got you. I got you. Where am I sending it to? The t-shirt. What's the address to send the t-shirt to? You're gonna have to text it to me in a private message. I don't. Yeah, just send that, brother, and I got you. Matias is not a draw. How the fuck is Matias not a draw if he just sold 10,000 tickets in Puerto Rico? 10,000 tickets in Puerto Rico, but Matias is not a draw. Matias's last fights, all his last fights, were basically sold out. How the hell is she? You see, this is that nonsense that people come up and just say the most ridiculous shit. How the fuck is Matias not a draw? He just sold. He packed the house with 10,000 fans. What am I missing? I don't know if he's a draw to you, but Matias has a lot of fans that support him. I don't know what you're talking about. You put Subriel Matias in New York City and Madison Square Garden with all those Puerto Ricans in New York. See how fast Madison Square Garden fills up. Bro, this dude is nonsense, bro. Yo, like, what are you talking about? Matias will sell out Madison Square Garden in a day. This dude, he just doesn't know what he's talking about. He just copying and saying what everybody else says. He hears it on one of those other channels, YouTube channels. Matias is not a draw. And he remembers it. He gets on my channel and he just, yeah, let me get to my keyboard. This sounds cool. Not accurate. Not even close to being right. But it sounds good. Here, let me type it. He's not a draw. Bro. Show me a Matias fight when he was going on the destructive reign, when he was making all 5 of those. Show me a fight where it was empty. Oh, but he wasn't the main event in that fight, neither. So he was like either under the co-main event, but when he was fighting, the people were still coming around to watch him. They were filling up the seats. And every fight that he was either the co-main event or the main event, get back at me on how he did. I tell you what, Devin Haney can't hold his jockstrap in ticket sales. So what are you saying? He doesn't know. This guy doesn't know shit. You put Subriel Matias in New York, he'll sell that bitch out. This guy don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Live gate, baby, for the zone. There you go, right there. Right? Oh, but he don't sell. This dude is crazy, bro. Copy, paste, and print. Don't repeat everything you hear. Everything you hear might not be true. When you hear things, do you ever like look shit up? Do a little homework, a little research? I know that sometimes some of your favorite channels could mislead you because they're doing the same thing. Copy, paste, and print. Whatever they hear, whatever it sounds good. But the truth is a motherfucker. They got numbers for things like this. Matias sells. Very much so. This dude's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Cookie, they gave Ryan MD wins. That's crazy. I don't care about the loss. The fact that Haney was crying over the 3 pounds, and all the excuses. George, listen, brother, George, you almost got it. You almost got it. You're like right there, right? Let me help you out with this, George, my brother. Check this out, right? You know when you're either in a game or you're doing something, right? And you tell the person, bro, we can play this game, but it's a 3-on-4, right? And the guys say, we don't care if it's a 3-on-4. We're saying us 3 can beat you 4. And you're like, yo, dude, it's a 3-on-4. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. We're gonna beat you. And you're like, okay. You play out the game. The guys that have 4 players, they win. Then all of a sudden, the guys with the 3 players say, well, we were at a disadvantage. What? Coming into the game, you said you didn't care. That's why you took the game. When Ryan Garcia missed weight by 3.5 pounds, they gave Devin Haney the option to walk away. Devin Haney said 3.5 pounds is not going to make a difference. I'm going to whoop his ass because I am the most superior fighter in that ring. And the minute you lose, now you're going to say it was because of 3.5. You don't get the right to do that. The moment you accepted the challenge, you accepted the fact that the 3.5 pounds didn't mean anything. But when you lose, now he's a cheater for coming in overweight. No, you're a bitch. I hate people like that. You knew the situation coming into it. Be a man about it, bro. Be a man about it, bro. Now you can't. That's like you coming up to me with something, sell it to me for $10 and realize it costs $1,000 and come back and say, no, I didn't know, but no, bro, you sold it to me for $10. That's a done deal. It's over with. You can't cry about something they gave you the option to walk away from. And then once you lose, now you're going to cry. That's what makes you look like a bitch. Now you want to take the man to court. Now you want the O taken away. Now you want all these things. Wham. It's not making you look good, brother. Take the loss on the chin. You're still the champion, for God's sakes. You still remain champion. Walk away. Right? Nah. Not this crybaby. He had to get it all. And the shit that pisses me off is you said you wanted the smoke when you were notified that he came in 3.5 pounds overweight. They said, Devin Haney, take your money and walk away. He said, no, I can beat him. Really? Go ahead. Pop, 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 pop. You lose. Oh, 3.5 pounds, man. It was because he had... Come on, man. Come on, man. Nah, you don't get no sympathy from me. You took the fight. You were notified and you knew. After you lose, now you're going to cry? Get the fuck out of here, bro. You got your ass whooped. And I don't give a fuck what the athletic commission did by making it a no contest. It will never, and I repeat, never erase the image of what I saw on that night, including the referee helping Devin Haney's ass. No, it's not. Yeah, I mean, look, the PE scandal still doesn't justify the win. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's be realistic, people, right? Even if Ryan Garcia took a PE, does the PE fight for him? Or would Ryan Garcia still have to fight? Just because you take a PE doesn't guarantee you a win. How many men and women took PEs and got their ass whooped? Probably hundreds of thousands that we weren't even aware of. How many times you think Floyd Mayweather and great champions fought guys that were on performance enhancing drugs and that got away with it and still lost the fight? What I'm saying is that PE didn't turn Ryan Garcia into a superhuman fighter. It doesn't work that way. It might make you stronger. It might give you a longer gas tank. And it might make you stronger and longer in the fight. But don't you got to throw these hands? The PE didn't make you a skilled ninja. No. You could fight just like that with or without the PE. You're just going to be a little stronger or be able to last. You still have to fight. So if you take the PE out of the equation, Devin Haney still gets his ass whooped. He still gets his ass whooped. So, look, the fucked up thing is Ryan Garcia tested positive for the PE, and I knew he was going to get found guilty no matter what. I wasn't arguing the fact that he was going to get out of this clean. Nope. I wasn't even arguing the fact that he was going to get out of it clean when he found out where it came from. Let's say they did find where the banned substance and he could find it. Ryan Garcia is confused as fuck now. He can't find it for the life of him. Somebody talking about Victor Contents going in his room and spiking his fucking toothbrush. And if something like that occurred, he would be a confused man. And if you were a boxer in the sport of boxing and somebody legitimately hacked your hotel room, and while you were out, they knew you were in an interview and they came and put PEs in your toothpaste, just like a syringe, and poured it right into your toothpaste. And you came every day brushing your teeth. You have no idea where this is coming from. How would you feel? How would you prove your innocence? Tell me right now, how would you prove your innocence? Packing up, leaving the hotel, people cleaning up, threw away that toothpaste. That shit's gone. That was only for like when you were in town. You bought your little cosmetics, you threw them away. You'll never be able to retrieve that toothpaste again. And you'll never be able to prove your innocence, would you? So you're fucked. So either way, Ryan's going to have to take this on the chin. But wait a minute. What if he did cheat? What if he did take a PE and the type of PE he took, we all looked it up. I'm pretty sure that we're all caught up on the type of PE he took. The Ostarine, right? The entire world knows what it does by now, right? How does Ostarine make you a better fighter? How? How is Ostarine going to turn Ryan Garcia into Floyd Mayweather? To give him the skills to beat Devin Haney. That wasn't going to happen. Ryan Garcia whooped Devin Haney's ass. So even if you was to break it down like that, he still gets his ass whooped. The only person that's going to suffer in all of this is Ryan Garcia's legacy. According to Devin Haney, this motherfucker is still champion, which that fucking boggles the mind. Because even in a win or loss, he should not be the WBC 140-pound champion of the world. Am I saying anything wrong here? He should not be that champion. Somehow, he's still the champion, right? Not only is he the champion, now he got this overturned to a no contest, right? And Ryan Garcia got a 1-year ban suspension. How much better could you want it for Devin Haney? And I said all of that to say this. How do you think it's going to work out for him in the end? He can't even sell a fight now. Only one boxing promoter is putting up money for him because of all these antics and crying and all him trying to get his way. Look what it's costing him in the pursuit of not just taking this ass whooping like a man and recognizing, wait a minute, I'm still the champion. Let me be done with this and heal and move on. No, that's not Devin Haney. He had to keep going. He had to keep pushing. He had to keep talking, him and his dad. And now he's in the situation he's in, due in part to who? Devin Haney. If he gets a big win, he'll earn more respect. And that's what I was talking about. That's why I believe he needs to knock out Sandor Martin. And Koki laughed. Koki was like, yo, come on, E nigga. And I'm like, yo, That's what he's gonna have to do. I'm not saying he can do it, but that's what he's gonna have to do. And I think Texas is right. I think he's gonna need a big performance to get the fans back. And if he can do that, you know what I'm saying, he will get the fans back. Mind you, I am critical to boxers. And I will, you know, be real critical to them. But I love every boxer and I want them to all win. But unfortunately, there has to be a winner and a loser. And I cover boxing and I'll get on my favorite fighter. Oh, I will. And I'll get on every fighter, right? But as long as they're doing shit right, and I'll also tell it like it is. And I think that's my honest assessment. Devin Haney's just going through a rough patch right now, a really bad rough patch. I think he's going to get it back together. You know, a couple big wins. You know, boxing fans are beautiful, right? You know, we could be mad at you. You go out there and get a brutal knockout, we'll love you again. We'll be right back. Yeah, that's my man. I told you. Wah! You know what I'm saying? We crazy. Boxing fans are crazy. You go out there and knock somebody out, we'll forget about all this shit. You know, we love blood. Aren't you entertained? How much blood do you want? More blood. How much knockouts do you want? More knockouts. Those are fighting fans. He can turn this all the way around. Same thing for Subriel Matias. Same thing for Gary Antoine Russell. You know, and I told you guys in the beginning of this season here at Round One Sports Talk, what has been my theme all year: be prepared to see your favorite fighter lose. Didn't I say that? There were going to be some huge losses, and they were going to be your favorite fighter. The people that weren't supposed to lose were going to lose, and I knew it. I knew it. You know why? Because I can read between the lines. I can read between the lines, and I saw this explosion coming. I read boxing. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at. That's why I report this. I have a good boxing insight, a good boxing eye. And I'm trying to tell you, bro, that no, most of these YouTube channels that are claiming that some of these guys were exposed, they were not exposed. Gary Antoine Russell was not exposed. No, he was not. He gave a good account of himself. He just lost the fight. There's a difference between being exposed, and I know that's just like when people in this like basketball throwing around the word GOAT for everything. Anybody that slams a basketball, he's the GOAT. Anybody throwing a foot, he's the GOAT. They're not letting them earn it nowadays. Quickly, you have one good game. You shake somebody up on a line. Now you're considered the GOAT of all point guards. They got separate GOATs now in the NBA. There's like 10 of them. Every position now has a GOAT status. And they love to water down the word GOAT. Just like they like to water down a lot of words in boxing. And like they like to throw these words around. And just because they throw it around doesn't make it so. No, none of these guys were exposed. There's a guy to be exposed, just like my man said. Unfortunately, Devin Haney was exposed. 100% exposed. Not for the shit he was claiming to be. Devin Haney was claiming to be one of the best fighters alive. Devin Haney was claiming that Ryan Garcia didn't even belong in the ring with him and that he didn't deserve this kind of fight. That's what kind of they were talking him up leading into that fight. And when they did that to him, that is the definition of being exposed. Nothing you did worked. All your superior style, all the greater, I'm the greater fighter, the puncher. Absolutely not. You were reduced to punching Ryan Garcia on the side while he turned from you in the fight. That was your biggest moment in that fight. Oh no, he did hit Ryan Garcia one time, and Ryan Garcia clapped his hands. He was like, "Come on!" And that froze Devin Haney when he saw his anger. He stopped. He went, yeah. He hit him, and he just got him mad. And Devin just looked at him like, "Fuck." I hit him with my best shot, and that's all I got. Anger. There's a difference. There's a difference. Clarissa Shields says she was the GOAT. She has a strong argument, though. She has a strong argument. As the women, though, uh, the shit she's doing, the three division, all four belts in three weight divisions, she has a good claim to it. But unfortunately, we talked about this in the sport of boxing. In boxing itself, you cannot be considered the GOAT until you retire. You cannot be considered a GOAT. No one in boxing can be considered the GOAT while active in boxing. There you can't. There's no. That's impossible to do. That's virtually impossible to do. Reason being is because no fighters. A lot of fighters don't retire well, and some fighters don't hang it up, and they're in the ring fighting in their 40s, getting knocked out of the ring like Bernal Hopkins and a lot of fighters before him, and they're getting knocked out 4, 5, 6, 8 times at the tail end of their career, and they're not retiring well. And all those knockouts count. Your fighter has to retire, hang up the gloves, and keep them hanged up. Then they tally their career on what they did. There are a lot of legends in the game that could have got GOAT status and merit GOAT status. The legendary Roy Jones Jr. He should be considered a GOAT, but he can't, can he? Not after all those losses. Manny Pacquiao has 8 losses. A man with 8 losses and got knocked out how many times? 3, 5 times? Knocked out of the 8? Like knocked out. No, you can't. No, he's not gonna. He's not gonna be there. Um, a lot of these guys ruined their career because they didn't retire well. And unfortunately, that shit counts. They're no longer the GOAT. The GOAT retires undefeated, all his belts, never been knocked down, never been knocked out, walked into the sport of boxing as pretty as he walked out, and has his wits about him because he did the one thing that is the rules in boxing. The art of boxing is to hit without being hit. Period. Who does that the best? I don't want to talk about the wars because all boxers have wars. And there are greater fan pleasing boxers than there is the recognized GOAT. The GOAT might not have been the best fan pleasing boxer in the world, but he did it the best. He did it the best. And he is awarded GOAT status for doing it the best. Unfortunately, there is no one yet to do it like him. Naoya Inoue is on that ass. Terrence Crawford is on that ass. Tank Davis is trying. There are fighters that are trying to pursue what men like this did. But until they retire with a solid record, and that you could put that record up against other men that did it, then that's when you start to be talked about as potentially being the next GOAT. Either the torch is passed or you ripped it out of his hand or there's no argument. You see? Not like in other sports where you can be called the GOAT while active. They really don't keep their GOATs prestigious. Everybody's a GOAT. LeBron's a GOAT. Jordan's a GOAT. Kobe's a GOAT. Larry Bird's a GOAT. Magic Johnson's a GOAT. Even AI is a goat. There's just too many goats in basketball that if you give them all GOAT status, technically none of them are GOATs. They're all watered down now. A GOAT should only be one. That's it. And you guys got to keep that prestigious. That's my opinion. That's my assessment on GOAT status. And as long as the fans not are so easy to give that to everyone, and they say no, you got to earn it. You have to earn it. In order to be called GOAT in our sport, you got to kick ass. And if you're not kicking ass, then unfortunately you're not the GOAT. That's the end of that. And then there's like other men and women that get star status and their career confused and intertwined, like him. Muhammad Ali is still, to me, the best heavyweight to ever do it, but he did so much for the Black African Americans in the world. The pride that he put, the way he carried his people on his shoulders, the message that he spoke, the powerful person he was outside of the ring, they bring that into his ring status. And they want to award him the GOAT. But Muhammad Ali didn't retire so good. He didn't. He didn't. When he was in his reign, he was badass. Cassius Clay, nobody beat Cassius Clay. Nobody. I put Cassius Clay against anybody, bro. You know, but Muhammad Ali lost a lot. Cassius Clay never lost. Never. Cassius was dangerous, bro. Fucking dangerous. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? But the heavyweight division is ranked differently. And that's why you can award him GOAT status like that. Because it goes down as the most prestigious belt in all of boxing, for one. And he was the baddest man on the planet in that weight division. And then they take a lot of his outside sources and what he did for the people, you know, and he just made you proud to walk with your head up. That in the time he was doing it, it was definitely, he was a symbol of hope to many people, a symbol of power. To watch a fellow black man dress in a tuxedo or suit and tie and be able to talk on the microphone and back, bro, he was doing shit that most people dreamed of. And they intertwined both of that with his legacy, you know. But, you know, I I try to break that away, but he's so much of a staple in boxing, I don't even bother. I just accept him for who he is. Muhammad Ali. He is a legend, a staple in boxing. He all fighters should pay homage to men like that. He is the reason why some of these men and women have the ability to fight today. He kept boxing alive and for us to tune in. And the way he did it, it was just so. That's why I respect men like this and fighters like this. And I will always show honor to the men that did it like this, because it also keeps me engaged with the new age. So, fight fans, you know what I'm saying? I love you guys. He said, fuck ghost status. I want to see two men in the ring fucking each other up. You crazy, Lewis. Usyk needs to retire and he'll be up there. Yeah. He's got a good argument. He's got a good argument. He's got a good argument. Listen, fight fans, you guys have been amazing. I've been chopping it up with you guys. I have no idea what time it is right now. What time is it? It's like almost 11. Oh, we haven't been chopping up all that long, right? We've been good. We've been all right. But listen, we always have to have something to talk about tomorrow. So if the YouTube ain't sending out my goddamn notifications, tomorrow's Saturday night, is it? Or tomorrow's Friday night? What? Damn, my days are off. It's Thursday. Okay, so tomorrow's Friday. I'll be going on 8:30. Definitely. I'm gonna try to stay to my guns. It's gonna be 8ish, right around there. So if you set an alarm on your phone, right around that time, you're gonna see me pop up, and it'll give you more, because I'm starting to see that even on my views, YouTube is fucking around with my views, man. Right? If I go and I check it off on my other website, it'll be like 200 more views than what YouTube is registering in YouTube Studio. It's fucking crazy. But anyway, guys, listen, no matter what, I like the fact that I get views. Please get the videos a like for me. Please take your time and like the videos if you like everything that we were talking about here today. Help the channel grow, man. Support the brand. I like the views and I like the likes and everything, because obviously I get bigger, but I don't do it for that. But if I don't get that, then my show is not going to get bigger. So that's why I ask you to please support the brand. So, fight fans, I love you guys. Take care, be kind to each other, and I'll be back for another one after this one here at Round